Hello YouTube, I've had some thoughts about driving in London which I thought I'd share with you at this point. I'm still half an hour away from my drop off. It's creeping up, it's now 3:15. And I was thinking, I don't really mind having long days, but there's something about today that's harder than most days. And I was trying to think about what that is, and I'll try and put into words why driving in London I think is harder than elsewhere in the country. It comes down, I think, to you have to be on the lookout all the time, but you're not going very far. So it's a bit more stressful. In most areas of the country I don't hear a beeping horn ever, but today I've heard beeping horns almost every 10 minutes. People getting angry or frustrated about other drivers.
Sorry, I can't open websites on this device.
And the other aspect to this is the cyclists around you. They come from all angles, they don't stop, and pedestrians can be, they're not as bad, but they can be something to look out for as well. So now that I'm parked here waiting for traffic to go, usually I just look ahead, but I'm having to look in my mirrors before I do anything in case there's a cyclist about to overtake me. And that's okay, but when you're doing it all the time, non-stop, for an hour, 2 hours at a time for one journey, it does make the journey more tiring than somewhere else. The other thing I was thinking is that there's not really much to look at. It's lots of buildings and lots of traffic. When you're travelling around the country, you get to see the countryside and different kinds of hills and water, and this is nothing like that. So I think for those reasons, driving for an hour in London is more tiring, a bit more stressful. There's an alarm now. I don't know where it's coming from. Oh, it's in front of me now. I see it's an ambulance in front of me, so I have to move. There's sirens all over the place here in London. Police or ambulances. Something else you've got to be aware of. Before I move now, I'm looking in the mirrors, but make sure there's no cyclist behind me, and there's not that I can see. Yeah, so it's and I think what it does is it makes the day drag on a bit. I don't find an hour of driving between, say, Preston and Manchester, or wherever, go to Scotland. It doesn't seem like an hour. I could do 3 or 4 hours, and it flies by. But feeling I've got to do the same amount of time, but in this environment, it's not something I would look forward to doing, I think. So I think it's not just about the money, it's about the kind of experience of driving in London is just quite poor. There's a cyclist, actually, there's a cyclist there going the other side of the road, won't stop at the, now go on the path. But that wasn't too bad because there was no one near me, but there'll be cyclists all over the place, all sides of the road, go through red lights. I don't have a problem with cyclists per se. I think in London it's so packed and so busy that as a driver you really have to be so careful about what you would usually do, because someone might be in a place where they shouldn't be. Pedestrians crossing the road when it's a green light as well, that happens sometimes. You can't just assume that everyone knows that the light has changed to green. See, there's one guy ahead of us, it's gone green, they're still on the road. Yeah, so I suppose, there's a cyclist to my left, just noticed him. I didn't notice him until a moment ago. So I suppose I'm reflecting on why driving in London is quite so difficult. And if you add to that it being a hot day, it's not that hot today, but imagine doing this on a hot day, or a really dark and cold day, it would make it really unpleasant. Yeah, I'm not saying anything that's not been said before. Most of what I say isn't unique, But I thought, as I was doing this London Odyssey, I would use this time to reflect upon what it's like to drive as I'm doing it. I just find it not necessarily a pleasant experience. If I had to do this all day, every day, I think I would not like this job. Yeah, that's the bottom line. So if I earned the same amount of money but I had to do this, I wouldn't enjoy the job anywhere near as much. Okay, I'll let it go. Bye.